So the new Season 5 just dropped. And I bet you're wondering, which racer is the best racer? Well, you don't need to wonder anymore, because today, we're gonna be ranking each racer from worst to best. Let's get started. So the first racer we have is Ana. Now remember, we are ranking this from worst to best. So Ana is the first one, but she is the worst one. But hold up, let me explain why. So if you don't know, Ana is a trickster. Her normal ability grants Nitros, and her charged ability grants Nitros with a shield. The skills that she has is Cloak, which turns you invisible, Hack, which turns the screen of your opponents, Shot, which throws that red discs at them, and then Rush, which gives you that triple boost. When you start upgrade Ana, her character abilities last longer. So you might be wondering, well, Poppin, why did you put her in the worst? She's like literally the best. Let me explain. Now, Disney Speedstorm has always been a game designed about how to make other players lose. It has never really been about how to win. Ana's character ability doesn't really provide her with much. Now she gets Nitros, but if you're playing against a really skilled player, they know how to drift, so their Nitros is going anyway. So now you're at the point where you have an ability that does the same as someone that's not using an ability. Now you could say, well, she grants you shields, but she also grants other opponents shields. Now the skills that she has is Cloak, which is really, really good, no doubt, but it requires a higher star level or a higher ability level, which you will not obtain unless you have the crew member or you start up the racer, which again is problematic. The Shot ability is inconsistent and can easily be dodged. The Hack ability is inconsistent and can easily be dodged. And the Rush ability is nice, but unless you put it at the right spot, it's probably not gonna do you justice. And then as I said, when starting up her ability, she doesn't really get anything other than lasting longer. Now, I do wanna say, if you are an experienced player, if you are a time trial buster, you're just always the first, like, this character is great. It's less you have to worry about in managing your Nitros. However, if you're like pretty much the majority of players where we don't really cash out all the stars, or we don't have all the crew members, and you're limited on resources, Ana doesn't really provide much, and that's why she's at the worst of this list. Next up we have is Kristoff. Now again, if you don't know, Kristoff is a defender. His normal ability sends out Sven, which kind of works like Raja, and he starts ramming players in front of him. The charged ability throws out flaming blankets, which if players hit them, they become stunned. The skills that Kristoff has is Boost, Bomb, Shield, and Fire. When you start upgrade Kristoff, his character abilities start to last longer. So you might be thinking, well, his skills are great, his abilities are great, why are you putting Kristoff at 4th? Like I said, I got you, don't worry, I'm gonna explain. The reason why Kristoff gets 4th on this list is because his character ability is inconsistent. Sven does not work like Raja, where Raja just pounces on everybody it passes. Sven usually keeps towards the middle of the map, which means you're gonna have to use it properly every single time, or you might just end up missing players. And players that look behind them can easily just go left or right and you're not gonna hit them. That's one of the issues with Sven. Now with his charged ability, his blankets might seem overpowered. You throw so many, they're so small. There was a recent nerf that made it so anyone who gets stunned by racer created obstacles are stunned for less time. Also, players can jump over his ability. Also, if racers are close enough to Kristoff when he's throwing the blankets, they don't get hit. It doesn't hit racers mid-air. A lot of the times, he'll just throw it over the racer that's behind him, which means you're not really hitting anybody unless they are further behind you. Now, with all that in mind, he does have great skills, but it's not compensating for the inconsistencies of his character ability. In number 3, we have Olaf. Now, if this was my personal list, I would have put this man at the top. No, because Olaf is my boy. Olaf is a speedster. His normal ability throws snowballs, and his charged ability leaves a trail behind him, which if racers go over it, they have a hard time steering. The skills that he has is Shot, Hack, Cloak, and Boost. And when I say Boost, it's the lightning bolt, not the rush ability. When you start upgrade Olaf, he throws more snowballs, and his charged ability lasts longer. Now, Olaf is really just in the middle because he's kind of just like balanced in a way. His character abilities are more consistent and they are more disruptive. There is a way to control his snowballs, and I have those character guides on my channel already, so check out all the character guides. I got them, I got tips for you, trust it, check it out. But there is a way to control his snowballs, and his trail is more consistent. It's very easy for you to aim to drive in front of people. Now, he does have the same issues that the other characters have, which the Shock and the Hack is easily avoidable. However, the Cloak is great, and he has a free boost, which again is like Ana's ability, except it's in a skill form instead of a character ability form. And when upgrading Olaf, he just becomes more of a force to be reckoned with. There's actually more improvements to his ability rather than just having something last longer. Now on to number 2, Hans. Now if you don't know, Hans is a brawler. The normal ability of this character turns him invisible, and if he touches anybody, he'll stun them and come out of invisibility. The charged version will rain arrows down, but only on players in front of him. The skills that he has is Cloak, Shot, Bomb, and Rush. And when you start upgrade him, all his stuff lasts longer. Now the reason Hans is number 2 is because he's incredibly versatile. You can use the cloak as a way to just keep front running, basically staying in the front. You're a cloak, it's a free cloak basically. He also has a cloak, so he can cloak while having another cloak, which is just busted already. So you can already see why he's higher on the list. Now obviously if you're first, none of his abilities help, but you can dodge obstacles, and really all you're worried about now is just driving. If you start to fall behind, his abilities are really good at catching you up. Not to mention his skills, which is the cloak, bomb, shot, and rush. They are very good at keeping people away from you and very good at keeping you in the front. I don't really need to say much about this character. His abilities are just so versatile, and he's that good of a racer, he deserves to be number 2. Now the moment we've all been waiting for, the number 1 racer of this collection. Elsa. As I said before, if you don't know, Elsa is a defender. The normal ability fires a freeze beam in front of her, which causes Racer to have a hard time steering. The charged version of her ability puts up a wall behind her. This can be destroyed or hopped over. The skills that she has is shot, bomb, shield, and rush. When you start upgrade Elsa, her beam lasts longer and her wall becomes bigger. Now that's a key point I want to emphasize right there. Her wall becomes bigger. Most of the characters just have things last longer. She actually has a bigger wall. This means on certain maps, this becomes extremely problematic. Now, Elsa is like Hans, except Hans is a brawler, so it's harder for him to stay safe. Whereas Elsa is a defender. She can keep ramming people to continuously have protection. She also can pick up a shield, and she can use it offensively or defensively. Her character ability not only helps her catch up, but also keeps people away from her, and her skills do the exact same thing. The bomb keeps them away, the rush keeps her ahead. Remember, this game is more designed to make people lose. Yes, if you're doing time trials and stuff like that, this list can appear different. This list is more for multiplayer. This list is for going against other racers, not time trials. We're not talking about stats and speed. We're talking about the character's functionality. So this is why this list is how it is. But of course, I'm only one player in one mind. Let me know in the comments down below which characters would you put in which spots. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. And until next time, you know what I always say. Thank you guys for doing what? Often. With laughter.